with this whole discussion, I'm personally someone who's had experience with it, growing up in a home with domestic violence. And nothing was done about it for my family till I was old enough to defend my mom. And then the men in my household knew that you can't mess with her because I'll be there. But so it's something that I was always personally passionate about. But about 3 years ago, like I noticed how we have all of these cases that come out on social media and people get up and talk. But I was disappointed in how we only do it for a period of time and it lasts for only like 2 weeks. All the outrage and stuff, and then it's gone after that. And for me, it was like, what have we achieved? So I thought about how I need to create a space where there needs to be consistent advocacy, and we need to keep talking about it, because as everyone has highlighted, like there is a lot that needs to be done, and it's not going to be done overnight. And it's something that we've got to keep working on until we get those results. So 3 years ago, I was like, I need to start a campaign. So I looked around. I was gonna do a dress in black every Friday to run it, but then just doing some research, I found out that Black Thursday was an existing thing that started in the 1970s for, I think, women in war-torn countries who got kidnapped and abused and stuff. And I was like, look, that's a platform that's been there. There are people already been doing it. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm just going to go along and support that. So for the last 3 years, like I've been doing it every Thursday. I dress in black and I post on my wall, and my slogan is, say no to all forms of violence. Because for me, it's bigger than just the gender-based violence and what happens in home. I'm also concerned about the lawlessness on the street and what's happening with our young people. And back home, it's the knife cuttings and the spear wounds and stuff. And we've got to deal with all of these things. And for me, it's not just something that's about government. Like everyone calls up and says, what is government doing? But my question has always been, what are we doing as individuals? And what's our role to play in all of this? So I was, it's been really great. Like, as Debono and others have shared, like it's overwhelming what we have to deal with. But I've been doing it for 3 years as an individual, and I'm so excited about the difference that I've seen that's happening. It took me 2 years of doing it before. Now my provincial administrator, Dr. Clement Malau, and my governor, Alan Bed, they've taken it on board as well. And so I've got those voices now to support me, like doing it in my province, which is exciting. And my governor did, he spoke a week ago, and he was like, let's make ECPIC safe for women and girls. And one exciting thing about having us young people involved is all he had to do was say it. I talked to my young guys who do graphics work, and they created a poster, and my governor's like, wow. And I'm like, you can just speak as the leader. We'll take it to the next level. That's what we do. So, but it's been really great. Like, eventually, so now I have provincial leadership doing it. I was really excited to see BSP has now launched their Black Thursday campaign. That's awesome. And for me, the thing is, we talk about the statistics, but what we're saying, like maybe 2/3 or something. I'm not knowledgeable in the space about the laws or statistics or anything. I'm just someone who wants to make a difference. I'm just a guy, and it's one thing to say that there's 2/3 of the victims in the space, but it's another thing for me. What my vision, what my goal for this was ultimately is for everyone who is a victim to dress in black on Thursday, so then the government can look around and say, wow, you can see it on paper, you can say 2/3, but when you see it in reality, like people dressed in black and the colors, it's just like, oh my God, this is a problem. And it is something that we have to, deal with. And so it was really nice to see, like Medeng took it on, but they deferred on Thursday and they did it on Saturday. I came here and I hosted a walk, and it was really nice to see like a lot of big NGOs and partners come on board and do it. And so they asked me like, who and why are you doing it? And I'm just like, I'm just a guy, And back home, it's me and the people that I do it with, my young boys who have this Cyclists Group. And these are the dropouts. These are the people without jobs. These are young men who are the drug addicts, the drinkers, They cause problems in society, but for themselves, it's just like, we want to see a change. And so they started this Cyclists Group to promote men and boys behavior change through doing that. So then I take them on board. So for the last 9 months, we do Black Thursday walks every week. We do it every week to advocate against violence, so that no one can question us and say, where do you guys come from or anything. We'll do it for everyone, because the violence is happening all the time, and there are so many victims that we don't get to hear about. But, so I'm excited to see all the conversations that are happening now, and my encouragement to everyone is that we need to be consistent. Because if we're not consistent, we aren't going to get the respect, or we're not going to get the platform and stuff. And for those of us who are doing it now, I may not be a victim now, but I do it to give a platform for those who are in that space, to try to push laws or push resources and whatever needs to be done. And just like personally now, like for what we're doing in ECPIC, now that I've got my governor's support, my new job, my boss is here, Chakria, my job is looking after the seasonal worker program for ECPIC province. to sort of vet people before they go out to Australia. And part of my exclusion criteria is gender-based violence, is child abuse. You are not going to get opportunities. You're not going to come through me if you're a perpetrator for these things. Because we've got to start creating systems where these things are now, you lose out on opportunities in societies, organizations, companies need to make it a thing. And then, because it's not just about what the police has to do, what government has to do. We all have a part to play. And once we do it and we start changing, the thinking of society, it's been very interesting to see all of the discussions on social media, how there was so much against, Otto Thomas for having the placard, and there's so much going. It shows how much we have to deal with. And it's not a short thing, and we've got to be in it for a long haul. I've been doing it for the last 3 years as an individual. I'll do it for the next 10, 15, however long it takes, until we see change for this nation, because we all need it. Because if we don't, apart from the gender-based violence, the lawlessness is going to get out of hand. And I may be a victim one day, and I may not have that strong a voice, so I've got to build a voice all around me. So if something happens to me one day, I got this whole army that's going to back me up. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you.